We're with us Mr. Chetan Vohra. He's the founder and CEO of Wedding Line. Thank you, Chetan, for joining us today. My first question to you: what do you think of this initiative by Business World, wherein we bring together all the stakeholders of the industry? A quick comment on it to begin with.
There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes, and we spend all our time trying to woo clients, trying to put events together, trying to do all of that. I'm so grateful that there is actually a very reputed media house such as Business World who's actually doing this and getting all of us together, recognizing our work, giving us a platform to be recognized, and also uh, making us perform. Because when you have someone who's it's like being in school where you know that there's a teacher and above that there's a headmaster or a principal. I think media houses play that very important role. So when you know you're being watched, you are going to fall in line, you're going to do it that much better, and you're going to try and consciously make that effort to be bigger and better at what you do. So what you are doing honestly is aiding us by giving us recognition, giving us a platform to meet each other, to discuss issues, to discuss what things. It's very often some of us don't want to talk about our issues. You bring us onto platforms wherein you encourage us to speak. So I think these kind of initiatives are very, very welcomed, and they are needed, and they are definitely the soul that goes into the industry.
Coming to the wedding industry part of it, we have spoken on many forums about the goods and the bads of it. So tell me, what are the big challenges right now for the wedding industry at large that you have seen firsthand?
Well, everybody's talking a lot about this whole unprecedented growth. We are one of the fastest growing sectors. Everywhere you see, there's a lot of hullabaloo about the big fat Indian wedding. Everyone's talking about caterers, jewelry companies, people who are getting into every aspect of a wedding is becoming a sub industry. What concerns us today is what are we doing to the industry as a whole, because this growth is very fragmented. It's not collective growth, and everybody is working in silos. So I think what worries us is that when we talk about $130 billion, we talk about multiple facets of the weddings that are really exploding for everybody. I think what's really seen and what is causing us a lot of gray hair actually is to see where is this going to end. Because today a lot of things are changing. The average age of couples are getting older, which means that they are also becoming financially independent. Some of them don't want to come and get spend this kind of money getting married. They want to do smaller weddings, they want to do more experiential weddings. They don't want to be the big fat Indian wedding anymore. They want to scale it down, but the industry is not allowing that. Why is it not allowing? Because we've all built businesses around that. We've all realized that अगर शादियां कम होंगी या size कम होगा तो हमारा क्या होगा. So it's limited dates and everybody's trying to do it. Hotel prices today, India is unfortunately not a viable wedding market anymore. I mean, the whole fact is the world looks at the big fat Indian wedding, but India itself is not looking at the big fat Indian wedding. Hotels are charging us uh, exorbitant prices. I mean, why would you go and pay a lakh and a half or 2 lakh rupees a night for a hotel thing? Why would you spend 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 rupees per head on food? Why would you spend so much money on licensing? Why would you spend so much money on entertainment? Look at it that if your child was getting married and you had a limited resource, you're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. One is affordability, and the second is your market vulnerability. You have to show the social vulnerability of it is eating us up. There are a lot of people are falling into debt because of that trap, because you're doing stuff that you can't afford. And my last point is also the environment. I think there's a lot of the unprecedented growth is being harmful for the environment. We are still not adopting certain standards like sustainability and what we are doing with recycling products. Everyone wants new, everyone wants big, everyone wants better. It's coming at a price. Not a price you and I are going to pay, but a price our children are going to pay. So are we really being fair to them?
My final question about this: there is talk of 24/7 burnout culture in the weddings sector. Is the industry built on an unhealthy work culture? Do you believe what can be done to tackle that?
Well, I think there is definitely a lot of stress that goes in the wedding market, in the wedding industry. There is nothing called a timeline. You don't, if a client wakes up at 3 in the morning because he's had some thought or he's suddenly got nervous about the fact that is his wedding in order? Is the caterer going to deliver? Is the flower man going to deliver? Is the wedding performer going to come in on time? He calls you up. And if you don't take your call, if you don't take that call at 3 in the morning, by 6 o'clock you've got, at 6 in the morning while you were trying to sleep, you've had 10 messages or 15 messages, and you wake up saying, oh my God, what happened? And that leads to stress. And then you wake up the first half in the morning, and what all our Vedic sciences say, that in the morning you wake up, you spend some time, you breathe in, you do some yoga. None of that happens. You wake up with stress, and then the whole day goes into trying to pacify because he's upset that you haven't taken his call at 3 in the morning. So burnout is definitely there. A lot of it is late nights. Also understand that during the day, a lot of these clients are running their own businesses. They don't have any time. वो घर की शादी करेंगे तो रात को ही करेंगे, संडे को करेंगे, सैटरडे को करेंगे, when you have. So there are no weekends. There are often late nights. There are times when they get free is when they expect you to be free. Does that mean that you can't, you shouldn't work during the day and work at night? No, that doesn't happen, because during the day that you have to coordinate with all the other 50 other agencies and people that you are empaneling on the wedding. So it is a very, very strenuous job. I read some time ago that after being in the armed forces and being in the, well, actually the fire services and the armed forces, the wedding planner is the, or wedding planning is the third most stressful industry to be in. And that is something that is there. So I think we have to take a few leaves off the other people's books in the other industry that run on high stress and figure out. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of colleagues, or we've had a lot of issues with people who've had issues with strokes and with heart attacks and with various disorders today which are related to it. Weight is a big problem because people don't get time to eat. They eat unhealthy, or they don't exercise. So there are many underlying issues that are coming up. So yes, there is burnout. Unfortunately, it's a small window. Some of us have survived it for about 20-25 years, and people marvel at that, but the average age today is becoming younger, and people are moving out as well. So which brings me to attrition. There's a very high attrition rate. People want to do it for 2-3 years. They either want to go and set up their own companies, or they want to then leave and join another industry which is less detrimental to their health. So there is definitely, and that's a pertinent question.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Chetan. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.